Welcome to the art of the 70% opt-in. I'm not big on introductions, so let's get right on into it. So my goal of this is to give you the knowledge to quickly create opt-in pages that convert at a much higher rate. I do want to say just because this is the art of the 70% opt-in doesn't mean you're going to achieve that specific result. And I know that's weird to say because that's usually something you say on disclaimers for income and so on and so forth, but not all traffic sources are created equal. Not all niches are created equal. Some might see offers so frequently that it's not going to matter as much. But as long as you follow this guide, you're going to have a great way to get up and running anytime you create an opt-in page, okay? So let's move on over to the stats. This is going to be a infographic here that I will give you as well. But I do want to show you that this has happened previously. This was from a video that I just screenshotted, which is why it's going to be a little bit blurry. You can even see me right there. It's a picture of me. It's hard for you to see, but this was from a very old account using a software. But this was after 1,001 visitors, 71% opt-in. I even did this again using cold traffic on Facebook ads, and I think it converted around 76% or so, even higher. So it's happened a few times. Like I said, it's not going to happen every time with every niche, but just following the same guidelines, I think it's really going to help you out. So let's get right on into it. So here I have a blank template, and I'm using this just to showcase and walk you through each of the steps. So let's move from top to bottom. First and foremost, before I get to the biggest thing here, you're going to want to notice that you can't scroll anywhere. I'm using my mouse to go up and down. There's no scroll bar up and down, and that is very important. So what this means is that everything is above the fold. So what happens on anytime they click on an ad or a link or an email, they get sent to your landing page, everything they need is right in front of them. This is very beneficial because if you keep, say, your opt-in all the way down, they got to scroll all the way to the bottom of the page. There's going to be a lot of people who don't scroll, and you're just automatically missing out on opt-ins. I'm not saying that you can't have it scroll down a little bit farther, but if you want to maximize it, you want to make it as easy as possible for the visitor to give them your email address. It's kind of like when people purchase nowadays, the least amount of friction they have when it comes to purchasing, the higher the chances are they're going to purchase. And if you don't believe me, all you have to say is, Alexa, buy me some new diapers. Literally, just talk into the void and you can make a purchase, okay? People have figured out ways to make things as easy as possible, and you always want to be doing that. So that's the first thing. You might not even notice it, but I recommend keeping everything above the fold just for that very specific reason. Now we can move from top to bottom. What is it they're going to be getting? Exactly. That's it. It's very important that wherever they came from, they know exactly what they're going to be getting. Hey, click here to get a free PDF, okay? If they're told they're going to be getting a PDF, please let them know that. So that's all you need here. Very simple. Free PDF reveals, free cheat sheet reveals, free video training reveals, free online course reveals, or it doesn't have to be reveals as long as they know exactly what they're getting. So very straightforward, okay? Now we move on to the headline formula. And I do want to just let you know there are 1 million, probably 2 million, 5 million headline formulas that you can use. This just happens to be one of my favorite and it works very well. So what you want to do is how to yay without boo, or how to yes without no. And what I mean by this is how to something your audience really wants to do without something they don't want to do. I'll give you an example and say a few niches. So how to lose weight. A lot of people want to do that, right? So that's going to be the yay without. Now think of all the things people don't want to do. This is going to be very natural to me because I used to be a personal trainer. So they want to lose weight without counting calories. They want to lose weight without doing cardio. They want to lose weight without living in the gym. They want to lose weight without going to the gym. They want to lose weight without doing all of those things, okay? Every single niche and every type of big benefit is usually going to come without. Even with YouTube. People want to grow a thriving YouTube channel. They don't want to create videos. You can actually do that using AI, right? So that can be something very similar to that, right? So you really have to think about whatever it is you're going to be delivering in terms of your free gift. It's got to be a big benefit and then without. So this naturally allows you to create a headline that comes with hooks. So that's a good thing because it can allow you to stand out from a lot of other people are doing. And like I talked about, there's so many other different headline formulas that you can use. Feel free to use them. I myself will use different headline formulas every now and then, but I've just found that this one is the easiest to explain, the easiest one to do. And when you properly fill it out, it'll be much more enticing. Like I just talked about before, if you're creating a headline that says, how to create a thriving YouTube channel without ever filming a video. And if someone goes, how in the world is that even possible? That's a good thing because the idea is it adds a little bit more curiosity to it. If someone doesn't know how it's done, it's going to be like, I think I'll have to see that. I think I'll give you my email. But if you said, how to create a YouTube channel by filming a video every day, they go, yeah, you film a video every day. I don't want to do that. That's too much work. And then they leave, okay? I'm not saying everyone's going to do that, but when they know the solution, it's just not as enticing, okay? So that's going to be the formula right there. Now, under this is kind of a little bit of a grab bag, I like to say, so a little bit more. You can add something that's in addition to the headline that you already have here, or it can just be a simple call to action. Enter your best email down below to get instant access. Or what we were talking about before, how to create a thriving YouTube channel without ever filming a video or without ever outsourcing it to anyone else. Do you see how I added a little bit more? So I like putting that there so that if you have a long headline, it doesn't have to be really big and really long. So that's more of a grab bag. It's just a little bit more where I can maybe entice them more, add more curiosity, or just give them a direct call to action, okay? Now, as we move down, we have our opt-in. Very simple here. You're going to notice right here, it says your best email goes here. And I do that for a reason. You can say, enter your best email, enter your primary email, because there's going to be a lot of people who see an opt-in and say, I don't trust this person. Let's give them a spam email and maybe I can get the gift for free. Okay, so by putting your best email here, the chances are you're going to get a better email. Is it going to work for everyone? No, but at least doesn't hurt. Okay, so that's going to be a little bit extra there. And you also notice how I only have this email field right here. I'm not asking for your name. I'm not asking for your number, where you live, your pet's goldfish name, your blood type, whatever it's going to be. The more hoops that someone has to jump through, the higher the chances are they're going to say, no way, I don't want it that bad, okay? Unless it's something really good, and even still, you probably shouldn't do that. You're only going to want to add extra fields, say like, phone number or address, if you actually plan on using them, okay? So if you're putting a number there, maybe you're going to be doing some text messaging or so on and so forth. Or if you're putting an address, like you have to ship something eventually, but I would probably do that later down the line if they're actually making a purchase. So the least resistance here is just having one field, the only one you need, which is going to be collecting emails. And even using name, probably not a big deal. I know people like using the auto-populate name and autoresponders, but do you really need that? Like, it's maybe a little bit more important if they were signing up for a webinar and it actually uses their name when they're talking and they're chatting. But with a normal opt-in here, I think just the email, you'll be fine. This is going to be like a little bit of a privacy. Like by entering your email, you agree to receive emails from me, obviously. Happy face. That's more of like a witty thing I put, just like a little bit of a disclaimer. And everything else down below, I have a little logo. You don't have to put it if you don't want, but and then just privacy, terms and disclaimer. These are business as usual. But if you'll notice right here, there are no other distractions. This is the biggest reason why opt-in pages and landing pages are so much better than websites when it comes to conversions. There is nothing else on here. So make sure you don't have anything else on here. You do not want to put your social media icons there where you can reach out to you. The main goal of this is to get emails, nothing else. And you have to have these here, so that's fine, right? We don't want them reaching out to you. We don't want them checking your socials. Just let them get their email, and if they don't, they can leave. Okay? And that's pretty much going to be the anatomy of a high converting opt-in page. And there's a little bit more that goes into it. So let's go back to the infographic here. All right, and so a big thing I want to emphasize when looking at this infographic, which I'll also have available for you so that you can download if you want, is clarity over cleverness. So I talked about how it's a blueprint for creating high converting landing pages by prioritizing message, clarity, and consistency. When you arrive on that landing page, you know exactly what you're expecting, exactly what you're getting, what the big benefit is, and how they can go about getting it. Nothing else. That's the main goal. That's what we're pretty much focusing on. And as you can see as an example, when someone arrives on this, everything is above the fold, even with this example right here. So provide immediate clarity. Users must instantly recognize what the offer is and who it is for. Aside from that, we want to keep fields minimal and the button text clear so the form does not create friction. In fact, the green really pops out. I use green because it's Marketing Island related. That was just an example for that. So the golden rule of conversion, I want to talk about this a little bit more because this can be a big deal when it comes to either higher conversions or lower conversions. So click promise, a specific offer in an ad or link. So someone clicks on your ad, they click on an email and social, in your email, whatever it's going to be. So it must match the page. The landing page must exactly match the promise of the link or ad that preceded it. Otherwise, the mismatch can kill trust. So if a page starts talking about a different topic than what the click is, the conversion dies instantly. It's very simple. If a person raises their hand and says they want pepperoni pizza, Don't give them hot dogs, okay? Yeah, you might get a few people who are hungry and be like, all right, I'll settle with that, but it needs to match exactly what they're looking for. And that's a really big deal when it comes to landing pages. This is also why I say like places like Facebook. And the second time I got really high conversions, like I said, it was maybe 76, 77. I have to look back in my old tutorials and videos and see if I can find that. It's the same setup, just with a different niche. This was for online business owners. But for this one specifically right here, everything matched perfectly. It was probably one of the ugliest ads ever, but it matched exactly what was going to be on the actual landing page. They clicked, they said, oh, I'm interested in getting that. The landing page showed them exactly that, and that's what they got. That's why I also want to reiterate right here, clarity over cleverness. I think too many people try and just do this overall. Like they're zigzagging and they're going everywhere. They're trying to be clever. They're talking about this crazy story that led to this great benefit or result. But avoid like the warm-ups or brand stories. Prioritize a direct connection to the visitor's intent. Just make it a straight line. Make it as simple as possible. There are going to be times where maybe, yes, you want to go into the story mode and maybe you're looking to do something different. But in my opinion, it's shorter, it's quicker, it's easier. It's direct, it's easier to consume, and you're giving them everything they need. So prioritize the message clarity and consistency over clever narratives. And as you can see, there is nothing fancy about this. There is nothing that is confusing about this. They arrived on this page. They said they were going to be getting a free PDF training where they can grow their online business without, spending money on paid ads or losing their shirt on paid ads. And that's exactly what they're going to be getting. Sweet. Let's opt in. Let's get it. And let's continue and carry on. So that is going to conclude this training. It's very straightforward, but I don't know if you've ever seen any of my YouTube tutorials when I do like various softwares and I'm creating a landing page. I pretty much always use a template similar to this. It's not only easy to create, but it's also easier for you to understand, digest, as well as your future opt-ins and leads that are going to be landing on your page as well. So I hope this helped you out. I hope you got some value out of this. Once again, that infographic will be down below in case you want to download it and keep that as well. My name is James. Thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.